it's acceptable to be showing up without having everything polished, without having all the high quality edits. Like, that's going to do better than the ones that you spend hours and hours trying to perfect.
Hello, welcome to the Courage to Be Visible podcast. This is the podcast for heart-centered entrepreneurs who are done hiding in the shadows and ready to step into the spotlight. I'm your host, Andrea Stenberg. I'm a video marketing strategist and a big believer that showing up as your true self is your marketing superpower. Each week, I have the privilege of sitting down with some amazing entrepreneurs who are showing up authentically, using their voice, and building businesses that serve, inspire, and change lives. If you're ready to grow your business, attract more of your perfect fit clients, and make a bigger impact while you're doing it, you're in the right place. Consider this your permission slip to be seen, be bold, and be unapologetically you. Today, I am talking with Ed Troxell. Ed positions six-figure coaches and consultants who've hit an income plateau and helps them break through using his Just 15 authority system, a framework for building visibility in just 15 minutes a day, even if they hate being on camera. That is so exciting. Ed, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. And what a great introduction. I love that. Not just about me, but of the show. I have to say, I love how you position that and that you give that permission slip, because that is key. And that opens the door for our conversation today. So I have to applaud you on that one.
Thank you. Well, you know what? I know over the years, I've had people who kind of were the permission slip for me. And so that's what I'm really hoping is to give people that nudge to step up and show the world how amazing they are.
Yes.
So speaking of that, though, why do you think it is so challenging for so many entrepreneurs to step into the spotlight and tell the world what they do?
Because public speaking, number one, is the worst thing for all of us. Like, that's our probably, I think it's that and heart attacks are like the number one thing that we're afraid of. And on top of that, it's the fear of judgment, right? We fear that we're being judged on what we say, how we say it, how we look, our full-on appearance. Let me tell you, when I first started with my visibility factor, I started with live streaming video, which is crazy because I did not want to be on video. I did not like the sound of my voice. I was afraid, just like many listeners probably are thinking right now, of how I was going to show up, if people were going to accept it, especially because I got teased a lot in school. I still remember even in third grade being pulled up on the stage in the cafeteria for what I don't know, but I just remember being pulled up on stage in front of everyone, kicking and screaming, and then leaving and having a panic attack in the bathroom on the cold tile floor for several minutes afterwards. It was terrifying. So the fact that I had to get on video says something, and hopefully helps those of you who are listening give yourself that permission to, okay, I can do this too. If Ed did it, if Andrea did it, I can do this. And also to know, like, if you want to have a sustainable business in 2026 and moving forward, you need to show up, and you need to show up differently, and you need to be able to incorporate video and be more strategic. It's not about creating more content. It's about being more strategic with the content that you're already creating.
That is great. And I have a whole bunch of questions just from what you just said. First of all, I want to ask you, so, I've been where you were, like, starting up, doing these live streams. How did you get over that fear and the fear of judgment, the fear of looking foolish, the fear of, people are going to hate my voice or whatever? How did you deal with that?
Yeah, well, it goes back to that permission slip that we talked about earlier. I literally had a conversation with myself. This is early on. So I started my business back in 2015, and I realized that I needed to do something different in order to survive. And that meant video. And I felt that resistance. So I had a conversation with myself in my backyard where I said, listen, Ed, you're either going to get good at being on video. You don't have to be great, just get good at it and comfortable, or you're going to have to go back to a 9 to 5. It's as simple as that. You're either going to go back to work for someone else, or you're going to create your own business and be able to sustain it because you are more visible. And that was the ultimatum. So I went with get good on video. And from there, I just practice. Now, I know it sounds super, super simple. And there's different exercises that I'll do with clients who are afraid of being on camera or sharing, videos on social, whether it's pre-recorded or live. But simply just getting comfortable with recording on your phone. Listen, right now you might be getting anxiety. For those who are listening, I didn't say anything about posting. Notice I did not say anything about posting. So if you are finding it challenging to get on video, then you need to start with holding the phone differently, like having it right there in your face so that it looks like you're recording. Then you can record. But again, you don't have to post anything. It's putting in these reps. It's like going to the gym. You might hate going to the gym, but you want to lose weight or you want to feel better, right? So what do? You start by putting on the shoes. You start by putting on the clothes. You start by going to the actual parking lot. Then you go inside. Then you do something, right? Like it's all these little things, all these little wins that add up to the bigger picture. And that's why I always tell my clients, we always got to celebrate the wins, no matter how big or small, because every effort moves us one step closer and gets us 1% better each day.
I love that, because I do think one of the challenges for a lot of entrepreneurs is they see people who are posting videos, like even people like you and me, and they're like, okay, they're seeing the end product. They're not seeing the beginning steps when we stumbled, when we fell on our faces, when we looked terrible.
Exactly. I even dropped, by the way, once on live stream. I was going live. I got into the groove and I dropped the phone in the middle of a live stream and I felt so dumb and horrible. I picked it right back up because survival mode kicked in and I just kept rolling with it. But those are the things that make us human. Those are the things that make us relatable. Those are the things that actually people crave. And now more than ever, like when we started, it was way different than it is now. So now more than ever, it's acceptable to be showing up without having everything polished, without having all the high quality edits. Like that's going to do better than the ones that you spend hours and hours trying to perfect, and then they're going to have low performance. So just keep that in mind for those who are listening, thinking, I don't want to be a video content creator. I don't want to be a video editor. Well, guess what? You don't have to be all those things. You can just record your video from your phone and post it where you need to and keep it moving.
Okay, so you said something that I totally agree with, but I want to hear your opinion on it. So
yeah,
why is it that the kind of rough, raw, like just talk to your camera videos are performing so well right now?
Great question. It's because, one, people don't have regular people who are not in the business of content creation, do not have a ton of time to be dealing with all of these edits and trying to make this video very polished, right? So we have that. Then we also have the relatability. So people get to relate, and this is a big one, especially for moms. You know, a lot of my clients are women, and many of them have families. And so one thing that's really relatable for moms is having a video where maybe you're in the car pickup line at school, which car videos, no matter if you're a mom or not, car videos are great. They always are those curiosity moments where it's like, ooh, what's going on? They had to pull over to tell us something. Like, what is it? But you also have the fact, like I've had clients where they have said, you know, I don't have a beautiful kitchen or a background. Like I got clothes in the back with the laundry basket and things. Okay, well, if that's your only spot to film, then you film with that. And then other moms are going to relate to that and you're going to get more engagement. And the engagement is what you want, because I break it down this way. You have your content, which creates conversations, which creates conversions. And those conversions don't always mean sales. They can mean partnerships, collaborations, speaking opportunities, podcast interviews, right? There's all these things. But if you can really start to break your system down into these 3 C's, the content, the conversations, and the conversions, you're going to make your life so much easier.
I love that. And I think so many people focus just on the content but those conversations, like that's the next step. So tell me, like, how do people go around doing that with the conversations?
Yeah, so great question. When you're creating your content, typically you're creating content from conversations that you've had, that you've seen online, that you should be having, right? So when you create that content, you put it out there into the world, and then you start to get engagement on that, whether it's comments, messages, text, emails, whatever. That's going to be your conversations that then you can continue with that person, and you can also create more content from that. And those pieces of content that you create from the conversations are going to be even more strong, are going to be stronger, I should say, because now they're using the words and the theme that really hit home for the person. That's why it's important for us to document. We don't have to create brand new things. It's all about documenting our day, understanding that we don't have to post every single thing. We don't have to post what we're eating or drinking throughout the day, but you can if you want, but just know that you're documenting. So for example, if you're meeting, like you had mentioned, I work with a lot of coaches and consultants. So when you're having conversations with your clients, after those sessions, you should have a buffer time where you're documenting those aha moments that came from those meetings, because you're in that magical moment where you were in your zone of genius, where you were helping your client out. And that time can now then be translated over into your content that you create to help bring in more clients like them.
That is such a great point and a great idea, because you know, and as well as I know, the number one question people have is, what do I say on my videos? Well, what are you saying to your clients? What are you saying to potential clients? Put that in your videos.
Exactly. And when I say buffer too, it can be that 15 minutes like we were talking about. You can do anything in 15 minutes. And what I love is I have my Apple Watch and I have my timer on the home screen there. And I literally have that 15-minute timer there that I just tap throughout the day for my work day and go for 15-minute sprints. So if you have a client meeting, after it's done, tap your 15-minute timer, go ahead, debrief with yourself. What did we talk about? What were the aha moments? What really stood out? What captured their attention? Why did this person come to me? Like those things, document them. You don't have to go out and create posts right then and there, because that's another 15-minute sprint. You just need to document. And then later you can go ahead and move forward with other things.
That is such a brilliant strategy, because then you're never going to have that, I need to make some content, I have no ideas, because now you've got this big stack of brilliant ideas. You just have to pick one.
Exactly. And you notice that we also removed the biggest, I always say excuse, the biggest excuse out of the equation as well. I don't have time. So we just pulled two of those out from everyone listening. Typically it's, I don't have time and I don't know what to talk about. Well, we just crushed both of those. So now you can go create your content and pause this episode to take 5 minutes if you need to jot down any ideas that are coming to you right now. Because again, you're in the magical moment. You're in the creative juices are flowing and you want to take full advantage of this time. So if you need to, you can pause and jot down those notes and then hit play again. Like give yourself that time to just do the work.
I love that. I think that is so valuable, because I mean, I think we've all experienced that, where you have the brilliant idea and I'll write it down later. And then you go and pick up your pen and go to write and go, I've completely forgotten what it was. So like write it down when you get the idea.
Yeah, that I think is what a lot of entrepreneurs, myself included at times, of course, too. That's what we all get hung up on, is that we get caught up in the constant learning cycle where we're consuming all of the information, which is great. And we might take our own notes here and there too, but we don't actually put time in play for us to take action. And so that's why when you are listening to this recording, or you are watching a YouTube video, or you are, reading your book, pause in those moments to really implement things. Like create the 2 or 3 quotes that you want to post on Instagram. You don't have to create the graphics, but you can make the notes in your document saying, these are 3 quotes that I want to post on Instagram someday, and then keep it moving from there.
That is so powerful. So that's what your Just 15 authority system is about, is taking these little moments and doing the work.
Yeah, I basically work with my clients on streamlining their systems and their processes and figuring out where they can start and where they need to go and make it doable marketing, doable for them in just 15 minutes a day. Because oftentimes they're doing too much on too many platforms and trying to reinvent the wheel for every single thing, which leads to burnout and also you not wanting to do anything. Or you have this stop and go marketing. My clients, the biggest struggle that they face is hitting that referral ceiling. So they're established. They built amazing businesses on word of mouth, which is great. We love word of mouth. It's the best form of marketing, and it costs you really $0, right? But what we have found and what we know to be true is that does run out. And for many established businesses who haven't really built a lot of visibility online up to this point, they have seen the writing on the walls. Things have either completely stopped or they're slowing down, and they're realizing, oh, it's no longer optional for me to just have a website or just have an Instagram account. I actually have to do something on a regular basis with them. What am I going to do? And how am I going to stay visible and referable? So that's what I help my clients with.
That is amazing. And like you said, I think earlier in this, is you can do something in 15 minutes. Like, even if you're really busy, even if you have like 14 kids and the cat throwing up in the carpet, yes, and all the stuff, you can find 15 minutes somewhere to do the thing that's going to move the needle for your business.
Exactly. And right there, I got a visual. Right there is a moment that you can literally capture with your phone, a photo or a video, and then caption it. This is my life while trying to XYZ, right? And that right there is content that is relatable and also going to help you get that engagement from people because they know that's what their life looks like.
Yeah, I love that. All right. I feel like you and I could talk for hours about this, but try to keep this bite-sized chunks for the audience. So yeah, if people have been listening to this and go, oh, Ed, this 15-minute thing, that sounds brilliant, where can they find out more about you?
Yeah, so definitely head over to my website, edtroxell.com. I'm sure you'll have those in the show notes, and you can learn more about me there. And then also take the referral ceiling quiz. It's a free quiz, takes less than 2 minutes. You can find out what stage you're at and what you need to do next. So that way it can help you prepare what your next step is so that you don't hit that referral ceiling and you can keep things moving forward.
All right. So yes, I'll have all of Ed's links in the show notes. So thank you so much for sharing this. I think this 15 minutes is such a brilliant concept, and everybody, yes, go and take Ed's referral ceiling quiz. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Courage to be Visible. I hope today's conversation sparked ideas for your own visibility. If it helped, please share this episode with a friend. Follow the show and leave a quick rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It really helps. For links, show notes, and free resources to grow your visibility, head over to the show notes or visit my website. See you next time.